The concern to me is last year when after that San Francisco game, and Bosa came out after the game and said, well, I hope the Cowboys are paying attention because here's how you beat the Eagles offense. You don't let Jalen Hurts escape up the middle and you put pressure on him because he's looking at the rush. I wonder if he's even seeing those guys because he's having flashbacks of ghosts. It doesn't make sense. Like if you're Kellen Moore and you're Nick Sirianni, all week I'm pounding into their heads, slant, A.J. Brown. He's open here. He's open there. Even if you're doing it too much, it's so important right now to fix this now. Bob, last year, that team fell apart in large part because the offense totally crapped out and the chemistry. There was chemistry issues with coaches, with players, with wide receivers, with quarterback. Jalen Hurts is sitting over the bench by himself, mad at everything. A.J. Brown coming out yesterday, I said, uh-oh. See, this is trouble to where if you come out against Pittsburgh again this week and the passing offense looks as futile as it did last week, now I worry that this becomes a bigger issue. And inside the chemistry of the team, where everybody's pulling in the same direction, now everybody inside isn't happy. Can't have it.
Yeah. No, you're right. And look, when things like this start to go bad, who do you look at? You look at the divas, and that's the wide receivers, and that's the A.J. Brown, and that's, the cannon that you don't want to go off, right? That he's unhappy with the offense and all that. But there were words yesterday, John, that were spoken by an offensive player that got to me even more than what A.J. Brown said. And that was Jordan Mailata. And Jordan Mailata came out, and he's a great guy, and he's Mr. Positive and all that. And he said, yeah, the slow starts are because other teams are giving us looks that we're not accustomed to when we start the football game. I'm sorry. You're an offensive team that has A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert when healthy, Saquon Barkley, that offensive line, and the defense is dictating to you the way you're playing offense. Why aren't you coming out and dictating the way the game goes right off the bat? You could feel it in there yesterday, John. When the Eagles started out on offense, it was kind of people are sitting on their hands. What's going to happen here? I'm not sure. And it's gotten to that point. And I think A.J. Brown's open an awful lot. I think Devontae Smith is open an awful lot. I sure as hell think you can design plays for them to get open whenever they want. That offensive line is still hitting people. This all goes to Jalen Hurts to me. And I'm not a hater. I said it on the air during this summer. I said this was the season that I'm on the fence. I don't know if he's 2022. I don't know if he's 2023, Jalen Hurts. I need to see what he is. Sorry, I'm not seeing 2022 a little bit right now from Jalen Hurts.
And Bob, I'm with you. I see the intangibles, and I feel like that even throughout this whole thing, if you need a touchdown drive in the fourth quarter, Jalen is the kind of guy that will get that for you. He's got stones, man. He really does. Yeah. Like Jalen Hurts is a good player. I feel like sometimes when I watch him, he's a better football player than a quarterback or a passer. And that's an indictment. I mean, it just is. I know he's not going to be a rhythm passer, throw the ball to a spot, thread the needle. His arm strength is fine. I hear a lot of he can throw the deep ball. His arm strength is fine. But he looks like a college quarterback, and they're still running this college offense. And like when you look at reasons why the passing game is struggling right now, it doesn't feel like it's coaching or it's play calling. It feels like it's Jalen Hurts. And that's a problem because he's limited in what he's doing out there. And like you said at the beginning of games, like, all right, they're giving you different looks. All right, well, then you give them something different, right? Like, once they get going in the second half and Jalen's running around making plays and they're not tight, they look a lot better. Beginning of games continues to be a problem, and that will come back to bite you in the playoffs. No doubt about it.
Oh, there's no question. And you brought up the word limited. The limitations on him, to me, are really obvious. He doesn't throw guys open, right? He's like a schoolyard guy where guys have to be open in order for him to throw the ball. Now, he did have one play, I think it was A.J. Brown yesterday, where he threw the ball on the cut. And that is very, very rare that the ball left his hands as A.J. Brown was cutting and it wound up being a catch. Very, very rare. Here's another thing, John, that I started to notice last year and I've really carried over. Yesterday, after the game, the announcer said his two best throws, those two touchdown passes. Okay, like they were just They were touchdown passes. They were 8-yard passes or whatever they were, and the guy was wide open and he threw it. Great. Watch this Eagles team when they get the ball inside the other team's 20. How many times does Jalen Hurts throw the ball into the end zone? It is very, very, very rare. Now, yesterday he did it twice, kind of out of necessity, right? Scrambles, guys got open, boom, he threw it. They do not design plays inside the 20 where he's throwing the ball into the end zone. Most of the time, it's short passes, hoping guys break tackles and get into the end zone. That's a concern. I mean, to me, it's blatantly out there that these coaches don't trust him to throw the ball in the end zone inside of the 20-yard line. And you said the word limited. There are limitations here. And John, playoff football, you can't have them be so obvious. And to me, right now, the play of Jalen Hurts and sometimes the lack of play of Jalen Hurts is pretty obvious.